months. I read 10 books in July. I had one of the best reading months I've had this entire year. This might have been my favorite month of reading. Found so many amazing, incredible books. Starting off with one of my favorites from this month, The Women by Kristen Hanna. This is a historical fiction that follows the women that served in the Vietnam War. So many people during and after the Vietnam War did not even know that there were women that were serving. That is why this story is so incredibly important, because it tells the story of those women. I cried 16 times. I counted 16 times. Kristen Hanna is one of my favorite authors. She also wrote The Nightingale, which is one of my favorite books of all time. This is now one of my favorite books of hers and also of all time. Shout out to my bestie Emmy, who actually recommended this to me. I love you. Okay, next is Three Sisters by Heather Morris. This is actually the same author that wrote The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which is also an amazing, incredible book. This is actually based on a true story of three sisters that were separated during Auschwitz. This is their story of living through the worst years of their life, but ultimately making a promise to each other that they will survive and live. I have a sister and she's like my whole heart. She's my best friend, so I'm always drawn to all these stories that embody sisterhood. I just felt so connected to these sisters, and I was so honored to be able to read about their actual story of them surviving through Auschwitz. A lot of tears shed. I absolutely love this book. Next, an all-time favorite of this month, How to Piss Off Men by Kyle Pruitt. 109 things to say to shatter the male ego. Number 1. No. Say no. When I opened this book, I was like, I have to get this. Listen, I will never use any of this unprovoked, but just in case I have some amazing things to say. Honestly, thank you, Kyle, for this insight. I'm sending you all the love. Okay, next, Between the Lines by Celine Brown. Loved this book. This is a childhood friends to lovers love triangle romance story. Okay, guys, there's a good girl, there's a race car driver, and then there's a hockey player. So it was amazing. Story follows three of these friends growing up. It is a flash forward and flashback kind of story. Her sweet 16 when they're younger ends in disaster. She no longer sees the boys. It is a flash forward many years later, and they are all brought back together for maybe a second chance, but who is she going to pick? Because it was done correctly, it wasn't cheesy, literally so invested, and I also was like, I have no idea which one I want her to end up with. Loved the fact that these two guys were like absolutely head over heels in love with this girl, and I read this book in one sitting. Guys, the ending, you guys just have to read it. You have to read it because my jaw was on the floor. By Beck Dorsey Stein. This is an arc, so this is actually out in a couple days on the 5th. Guys, I loved this book so much. This is also a story about sisters. The story follows two sisters and their mother. One is kind of presumed to be the soccer star when they grow up. One is very academically gifted. It reminds me so much of my sister growing up. I was the soccer star. My sister was the A+ student. I felt like this story was very relatable for me, and I felt like very connected to these sisters. These sisters grow up, some unfortunate things happen, so this is really their story of them taking care of each other as they grow up and as life happens to them. Just loved it so much. I connected to it so much. Next, I read Will I Hate Myself by Pat Truer. Pat is not only an author, but he is a comedian, he is a producer. This is really his story of choosing his dreams of becoming a comedian over safety, comfortability. So this is his memoir about becoming a comedian, making his dreams happen. One of my favorite things about this book is how relatable that this book is, especially to those who sacrifice comfortability to make their dreams happen. Anyone who is on the path to make their dreams happen know how scary it can be because nothing is guaranteed. His story is a perfect example of why to keep going and push through the uncomfortability, because on the other side, your dreams are waiting for you. Just loved how it was so real, it was so raw. So I think this story would be absolutely perfect for those who need a bit of motivation. Okay, next I read King of Envy by Anna Huang. This is the 5th book in the Kings of Sin series, and y'all, your girl was giggling. She was running around the house. She was kicking her feet. Let's just say new favorite book boyfriend activated right here. Vuk Markovic, I love you. I literally love you. Can you exist in real life, please? If you guys don't know, this series is a billionaire romance series, okay? This is the 5th book. It follows Vuk and Ayana. He is a powerful billionaire. He trusts no one except Ayana, who is a world famous supermodel. It is an arranged marriage trope, but here's the kicker. It's not with the two main characters. It's with her and his best friend, which is where it gets good. This is a very, very spicy book. We love the spice in this book because the storyline, there's an amazing plot. Tension between the characters needs to be like off the charts. Okay, you have to like build it over time. A plus. A plus. Okay, next I read On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I wanted to read this for a very long time. It is top 5 of one of the most beautiful written books. Like the writing style itself, the most beautiful I've ever read. This is actually written from the perspective of a son who is writing a letter to his mother who was never able to read. It is basically a son's story of his life, of everything his mother never knew. This is a novel, but the way that it was written and the way that it reads is like poetry. I literally like annotated the out of it. A gem of a book. Genuinely. Next is One Day at a Time by RLK. So this is a short formed 7-day motivational ebook that actually has journaling pages in the back. What I loved about this format was it gave you such valuable information to read, but then also a space for you to basically write any of your feelings, anything that you feel like you needed to get down on paper. I love the fact that it was so practical. I also love that it gave you like step-by-step pieces of advice or tips of like exactly like what to actually do to feel better. I feel like it was such a refreshing take. It honestly made me feel so much better going into my day and feeling like really centered in myself. Super big on words of affirmation, especially to yourself, and I love the fact that this book included that and also gave practical ways for you to implement that yourself. Great thing to follow each day, 7 days for 1 week, and then also you can just like keep doing that. The last was The Empty Drawer by Miranda Ross. This is a breakup survival guide of basically women who have loved very deeply but also lost themselves within it, and she sent me this and I thought that this would be very, very useful for a lot of women. Not only is it her story of her breakup, but it feels like this incredible guide of like holding your hand through all the emotions and feelings that you go through during a breakup. She sent me the guide and she also sent me a journal, which was super neat. It has like a check-in of each day after your breakup. It tracks your mood. There's like a song of the day. It's just like really like these small things that add up when you're going through something so sad like a breakup that kind of just like helps you to keep going. And then there's like different quotes, there's different notes that she has from herself to you in it. If you guys are going through a breakup, this guide or this journal is honestly so helpful. Hey friends, those are all of the books that I read in July. I hope you guys liked the video and thank you guys so much for watching and supporting. I love you guys so much and I will see you guys in the next video.